I think you and I should make a pact that whoever dies first will not come back and haunt the other person.
And I told you this. I won't haunt you as long as when you move on with another woman, and I know you guys are all like, woman? But when you move on, I think with another woman, that would be my prediction. I won't haunt you as long as she is both 20 years older and 20 pounds heavier than me.
So if you die at 100... And you're an old woman. You die at 100 years old. I have to somehow find a 120-year-old woman who's 20 pounds heavier than you to get with.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be hard. You're a catch.
Well, I'm 100. I'm 100 at this point as well.
Yeah, you're 100.
And so I have to somehow take my 100-year-old ass to find a 120-year-old person. Also, that's like 3 people on Earth. That's a lot of pressure there.
I know. But hopefully one of them wants you, because otherwise I'm going to hunt you. If you're with like some hot, sexy 85-year-old, oh, you will never know peace.
Okay, but let's say I will never know peace. That's what I'm saying. We should allow the other person to know peace.
Well, I said you'll know peace if the person you move on with is 20 years older and 20 pounds heavier than
But
you.
why do you have to put that criteria on it? I didn't put any such criteria on you.
I don't have any criteria.
No, you could move on with someone who's 50 years younger than you and 50 pounds lighter than you. Midnight
Milkshake.
That's my criteria.
The skinniest man who's ever lived.
You have to find a withered husk of a man.
He has to be 50 pounds lighter than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would mean he would have to be...
Yeah, let's do the weight casting game
45
again.
pounds?
Yeah.
Am I close?
No.
I forgot.
I know.
I forgot
That's
your weight.
good,
I don't even
though.
think like that.
If I was 95 pounds, I wouldn't want to be 95 pounds. I think that's not a weight for a grown adult.
But let's say like you're just like, we're not 100, but we're just like older and one of us passes away and like you move on with like a smoking hot younger guy. I'd be cool with that. I literally wouldn't haunt you. I would just go, I'm in the afterlife, and I would leave you to your peace.
That would offend me? If you didn't haunt me, if I was with a smoke show and you didn't haunt me, I'd be like, did he ever love me? He's not even haunting me.
So you're with the smoke show, and because like, you know, the smoke show isn't levitating off the bed and puking black bile, evidence of my haunts, you would be angry at that.
Well, I would just be kind of like, was it real? Was it even real?
Well, but at this point,
you're not even haunting me.
We've lived a whole lifetime together.
I'm with a freaking smoke show, and you don't even care enough to haunt me for like even like a year. Like, oh my God, that would piss me off.
So you'd want me to haunt you for a year?
Like, let's just say the second that you die, I'm going to be looking for signs of haunting. And if there are none, I'm literally going to be like, he never liked me.
But I feel like haunting has a negative connotation.
To me, I'm like, it just means that you care enough to lurk. Because I'm sure the afterlife is fun and peaceful.
I'm sure too, which is why, like, why don't you want me to get to it? Why do I have to like haunt while you're banging some hot young guy? Why do I have to be in the room with you as a ghost?
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying, like, I'll just know that, like, you were never that. You were never for real.
But in this scenario, we've lived an entire lifetime together.
Yeah.
And also, I've died and you've lived.
Here's my thing. I don't think I'm going to die. I think you're going to outlive me. Because also the people in your family live way longer than people in mine.
I mean,
like,
people in your family.
There's some old-ass people in your family.
There's some old-ass people in your family.
No, there aren't.
Yes, they are.
No, they just look old. You just think they're old.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think they seem old, but I don't think they're as old as you think.
Here's what I will say. You have more vegetarians in your family, and vegetarians look way older than they are.
Well, because, they're weak. They don't have the nutrients they need.
Yeah, and my family, they're all Midwesterners, so they're all like, they've all got like, you know, meat on the bones.
Iron keeps you young.
Yeah.
Well, I always say this too, dude, when you meet an old person who's like 10 pounds overweight, they look 10 pounds younger. I do think there's a weight correlation. Once you hit like the age of 50, it's like every 10 pounds overweight that you are actually takes like 10 years off of your appearance.
Well, they say that Meryl Streep, once she turned, I think 55, she gained a pound a year on purpose.
I told you that.
You didn't tell me that.
Yes, I did.
That's like a known thing.
It's not even an urban legend. It's something I told you. I told you. And I found it out from someone else.
I certainly hope it's not an urban legend, because that would be, if I'm Meryl Streep, I'm so offended by that. She's like, I have not been gaining a pound a year. Do you guys think I look like I gain a pound a year?
The thing is, she does look like she's gained a pound a year. In a good way.
But also, you didn't tell me that, by the way.
No, I did.
That's in
you
the
didn't
ether
know that.
of
It's not in the ether. I always say this, like, guys be like, did you hear about this thing I told you about? You told me about? Did you hear about this thing you told me about? That's what guys be like. That was a really viral tweet of mine from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Glory days.
The glory days.
Glory days.
Girls be like, I invented this thing, and the thing is like wearing a white t-shirt and jeans.
Girls do be like, I invented this thing, and the thing is wearing a white t-shirt and jeans. And one about it.
Yeah.
The way we did it was revolutionary, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can never do it like me. But yeah, I won't hunt you as long as the woman you move on with is 20 years older and 20 pounds heavier than me.
But what if I like don't move on to another like person romantically?
Also, she can't be funnier than me.
I gotta be honest. I feel like a 120-year-old fat lady is gonna have some jokes.
No, you're right. She's gonna be really
have some
funny.
stories.
Dude, that's so real.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way she's a boring conversationalist. They're all interesting.
That's so true.
Those are always the ones who are like, I drink Mountain Dew every day and I smoke cigarettes and I made love to Nixon. You know, like they always have stories.
They always have stories. I also think that part of the key to staying alive a long time is being able to like amuse yourself. Like part of a will to live is like, how much fun are you having like in your own mind?
Well, there's a thing I think I did see this on TikTok where it was like someone said like the happiest old people are the ones who are 15 pounds overweight.
Yes, that makes total sense because those are the people who are like indulging and like having a good time. They're living it up. But they're like not so overweight that they like it compromises their ability to live.
And again, like they're happier than the healthier people within their same age range because again, it's like life is lived across multiple variables. It's like, okay, if you're like 65 and you're insane about your diet and exercise, yeah, you're probably less happy than someone who like goes out to eat a bunch of times a week with their family. You know what I mean?
Right, 100%. Or like the person who just like they always have their dessert.
Well, in general, old people who love exercise tend to hate their family.
That's so real.
They don't like their family.
Also, so much of old people's exercise is I think elongated so they can spend more time out of the house. Like I really suspect this of my parents. Okay, my parents every Saturday morning, and I loved this because it was the only time I got to watch TV. Famously, we talk about this. So I was one of those kids who was only allowed to watch TV on the weekends. Child abuse. So 911.
Yeah, that's child abuse. Yeah,
it's child abuse. But on weekends I was allowed to watch TV, and my parents would get up at 6 and they'd go on like really long hikes and bike rides. If that's what they were doing, they were gone for a long ass time, but they know they were doing that, which is even worse. And they'd be gone from like 6 to like 1 p.m., 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I loved that because in that time I just got to freaking watch TV.
Yeah.
Got to sit there and veg till I got home.
But at least they're doing it together. But I notice a lot of like couples or a lot of old people who exercise, it's a solo activity.
Yeah.
A lot of like old men who are like, oh yeah, I run. It's like you don't love running in and of itself. You love running because it's the only excuse you have to get away from your family that's not going to your job.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, golf isn't exercise, and I'm on record as saying that. But golf is famously the most obvious example of that. It's invented so guys can get away from their wives.
Right, like golf shouldn't take that long.
No.
The fact that there are 18 holes, the original game of golf was 3 holes. And then guys were like, wait, what if we made it 18?
Yeah. The inventor of golf was like, hey, honey, I just invented this game. It's 2 holes. And she's like, did you unload the dishwasher? He's like, oh, did I say 2? I meant it's 18 holes.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I also think like there is such an, like, you know how money is subject to inflation?
Of course.
I think that golf is subject to time inflation. Like I bet that like in the 70s, golf only took like an hour, and now golf takes 7 hours.
Well, I think that correlates with how much women empowerment is going on culturally. The more empowered women become, the longer golf takes. Because it's an escape mechanism.
Right.
So the more girls are on the internet and they're like, you know, talking about like weaponized incompetence, actually, golf is like, actually, this is going to take 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. The more posts about weaponized incompetence, the more hours golf takes.
Yes.
And that's math.
There was a guy who like just had a baby. He and his wife literally just had a baby and they seem happy. And he was just joking and he was like, hey, you know, it's going to be nice. I hope the kid grows up to like golf because then we can kind of like look at his mom and be like, see ya, we'll be gone all day. And I'm like, if I'm his mom, I'm like, what the don't say shit like that.
Yeah.
If I'm his mom, like, what do you mean you're hoping that like you and my son get to tell me to fuck off all the time?
Yeah.
That's your fear. I know that's your fear.
Well, yeah, I don't like that at all. But here's the thing. If you started playing golf, I'm going to start playing golf, obviously.
Well, that's deeply funny.
There's never going to be like, you're not going to do a hobby that I won't do.
That you can't participate in.
No. Like what hobby would you do that you think like would actually repulse me enough where I wouldn't want to do it?
Coaching Little League sports.
I'm there. I told you this the other day. I'm like, I can scream at kids for hours and hours. And as far as I can tell, that's what Little League sports coaches do.
Well, none of them understand the game or anything. And there's no technique. So I guess it is just yelling.
Yeah, it's just screaming at them. Also, again, I can make kids feel so bad. I can make kids feel so good. But I can also, because I can know how to make kids feel good.
Nice save. Nice save there.
As well.
You said I can make kids feel so bad. Pause. Wait a minute. Calculating. I can also make them feel really good.
Yeah.
No.
What do you mean no?
I mean that you would not be a good Little League coach. You would be effective.
But I could be a Little League coach. I think also I'd have a winning team. I do think that. I think that I always, okay, this is my hottest take. I think that Dana Donnelly, if you gave me any kid and any assignment, I could make that kid a little champion of any assignment, any sport, anything. Me and any kid could figure it out.
You and any kid.
Give me a blank slate, any kid. Give me a blank slate of a kid, and I will turn them into a champion at any sport or activity of your choosing. I literally think I know how to do it.
Even just the fact that you're referring to kids as blank slates. What about like STEM? What about science?
I could figure out how to get them to be a science prodigy. I don't even need to know science to get them to be a science prodigy.
I guess most stuff is just a matter of like, you just need to tell them to do effort and figure it out.
Exactly. And like, again, kids don't have limiting beliefs yet. And limiting beliefs are what keep everyone from doing everything.
Okay, so
I would instill them with so much confidence. I could do that very well.
And you can also take it away very well.
And I can take it away as well.
But that's how you know.
That's how I know.
Dana giveth, Dana taketh away.
Dana giveth, Dana taketh.
So I'm a 12-year-old boy. It's Little League.
Okay,
it's Pop Warner. I just dropped a pass in a football game. What do you say to me? How do you coach me up?
Sorry, let me get in character.
No, you wouldn't be a character. You'd be yourself.
Okay. Well, let me get in character as myself.
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, you can do better than that. Come on, kiddo. And then I'd punch him in the face.
And there it is. Well, great.
Just kidding.
You talk a big game.
Yeah. No, I in the moment I would know. Like, it's hard for me to theorize, but like in the moment I would know what to say. Like, I'm just that kind of bitch, you know?
How do you know wait, you can't be that kind of bitch who in the moment could coach up a Little League football player? That's something you've never done and have no experience in.
Yeah, but like once I'm there, I'll know.
How would you like?
That's my gift. It's like when I'm in the situation, I'm hyper present and I always know the best thing to do once I'm in a given situation.
What's an example of a time when you were in a situation you had never been in before and you were just able to knock it out of the park just on raw instinct?
Well, famously, I coached my little brother and he won his karate tournament.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Right there. So
good.
So it was like the artistic part of his like taekwondo, I think. And I watched his routine before. I gave him like tips on how to clean up his routine and he literally came in first. And my parents were shocked.
That's crazy. What kind of tips? Well, I guess you did dance.
Well, I did dance. And I also think I am a showman at my core.
I believe that's true.
Like, I'm a showman. So, like, I know how to, I know what flourishes we need to add. Like, I even think I told him, like, expressions that he should do.
I will say for you, I'd say, but I almost think that that does use your natural gifts because you are very artistically inclined. You're very much about the show.
I'm about the show.
I guess I'm interested to see how you would respond in a situation that's more about kind of the action. You know what I mean?
But I think it's all the show is what I would
But if we're down 30 points at halftime, we need a halftime speech to pump people up.
I would literally just be like, you guys freaking got this. The other team are fucking losers. Like, go out there, look as confident as you can, and they will all crumble.
It's actually not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Like, show up. And also, I'm just like, I think that when you project the air of a winner, everyone else starts to feel like a loser. That's why I think everyone feels like a loser around me my whole life. Because I show up and I have my winner's spirit. And like, that's enough to make people hate me.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, this is going to be you, by the way, like someone like, I don't know, a quarterback, because I love the idea of football because it's the furthest thing from Dana.
Right.
A quarterback throws an interception and you pull him over and like, hey, I bet you feel pretty low, all right? But a lot of people have felt low around me and then they try to make me feel even lower. Like, let me tell you about San Diego dance moms when I was 8. Look at me.
Yeah.
And that's you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's good.
I do like the idea of just like me and your sons.
Our sons?
Which would presumably be my sons as well.
Presumably.
But then we try to avoid you by like doing Little League football and we think we're in the clear.
Yeah.
And then on the day of practice, the practice is about to start and they go, who's that? And we just look and it's you in like a tracksuit.
Yeah.
And you're just strutting.
And I have my whistle.
And you have a whistle.
Yeah.
And you have a bag of orange slices.
Yeah, I have a whistle and a bag of orange slices. No, I'm not doing the orange slices. I'm here to coach.
So you want to be, that's true. The orange slices are for the moms.
That's for the moms.
And that's what you're doing.
I'm not pulling up with orange slices. No. In fact, I'm making sure no one knows about the orange slices until we've had a good practice. A good productive practice.
Yeah.
No one's getting any premature orange slices on my watch,
yeah.
Nor are they getting orange slices for doing nothing. We will have no participation prizes in my.
So you're beyond no participation trophies. You're saying no participation orange slices.
No. No, oranges are for winners. That's going to be my...
Your thing is oranges.
I'm hard line on it.
Your hard line, oranges are for winners.
Oranges are for winners.
Where do we stand on water? Hydration's for everybody?
I'm very pro hydration.
Okay.
But if I notice you're peeing too much and it's taking you away from the game, we're cutting your water.
What's taking away from the game?
Like if you ask to go to the bathroom more than once during the practice, no more water for you.
No more water?
No.
This feels like you're either going to be coaching a winning team or you will be deposed in some sort of local court. Or both.
Okay, here's also the thing. I was raised, so my first gymnastics class ever that I took was, my second gymnastics class was with a former silver medal Chinese Olympian who was raised in a gymnastics camp. Mm-hmm. Like she didn't even know her parents. She only knew her gym coaches. And she was like she would like sit on us in our splits. She would always be screaming at us. She would punch our butts and stuff. Like she was like she was real. She was real as fuck. And I learned a lot from her. And I was only ever good at gymnastics when she was my coach. That's also something I realized. How come I had the most gymnastics potential when there was just like this lady who was a fucking hard ass around me, and the second I'm around these soft ass coaches, suddenly I'm not that good anymore?
Well, that is the reality. Like, all right, because people love to say now that like negative feedback is bad, actually. Like actually like kids only respond to like positive feedback. I'm like, dude, that's not true.
Yeah.
And I know that obviously everyone you pull is going to say the negative feedback doesn't work because it's negative.
Because they don't like it.
But undeniably it works.
It does work. It absolutely works. And I do think, I'm like, okay, here's my thing too. I think any kid can do anything. And I think it's all about having an adult that they simultaneously fear and respect around them.
Yeah.
And it can be any adult that they simultaneously fear and respect. And that adult doesn't have to be good at the thing even. I think good coaches, it's all about the attitude.
Well, most of it, you're a culture builder.
Yes.
You're not about X's and O's.
No.
You're about like, we're going to set a winning standard here.
Yeah. And I think ultimately too, at the end of the day, what makes people happy and like eager to compete isn't actually like a positive environment. It's winning.
That's true. Well, you're actually, here's the thing, you're actually sounding a lot like some of the great brutal winners of our time.
Thank you. No, I think like I will coach the shit out of if we have a boy, I will also be all in and we will be like a sports family and I will be the coach.
Well, here's the deal. You've convinced me because you went from me thinking you shouldn't be the coach because you're like a girly girl. Yeah. Now I'm like, you shouldn't be a coach because you would whiplash our son.
Right.
You would do whiplash to our son.
Right. Yeah.
So that's true.
I'm like, he'd hate me, but he'd be a winner. And he'd thank me in the end.
Well, dude, it's funny because there's a running back named Christian McCaffrey who tells stories about how his dad would wake him up at 5 a.m. every day to like run and exercise before school, and how his dad would control his entire diet because he's like, you need to be absolutely primed for like peak athletic performance. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, this is like a good story because you're in the NFL.
Right.
But for every one of you that's in the NFL, there's a million that's nowhere near the NFL, and like you just had your sleep schedule ruined.
Well, survivor bias is so real when you listen to any high achiever's story, you really do have to take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. I think you were the one who was saying, or like, I think I was listening to you listen to a Brandon Sanderson lecture.
Yes.
Where he was talking about,
which is just like way to put me on blast there.
Sorry, but like he was talking about how if someone like flipped a coin right 50 times,
yes,
we'd all be like, what'd you do? And it's like it's not anything they did. It's
most people who succeed, it is pure chance and dumb luck and right place, right time.
And so like any advice that you get from them, if it sounds like good advice, is probably good advice, but just know like that it's always correlation, not causation.
Yeah.
Always. Like there is no one piece of advice that you could take that would directly cause you to have the same result as someone else.
Well, because it's rare that someone is super successful and then you look at how they became successful and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? No, it's more like, wow, that's a really unique set of circumstances this person found themselves in.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, well, why am I successful? I had a little league coach who was a 4'11" former child dancer who really put the fear of failure into me.
Yeah. And I always thought this about my dance studio too. I loved my dance studio, but the reality was I knew it wasn't the best dance studio, and I knew I could have thrived at a more competitive dance studio.
Yeah.
Like I always thought that about myself. I was like, I need to be in a more rigid environment where people want to win more. I've thought that my whole life. I'm like, I'm not in a rigid enough environment where people want to win enough. No one wants it badly here.
You see, I was like the exact opposite where people tried the hard ass approach with me, but like here's just the simple reality is that's just like not what I do, man.
Right.
Like I had a piano teacher, a Russian piano teacher actually, who would try to be very kind of like, you must do it. But here's the deal. If I'm refusing to learn piano, you can't just grit your teeth and like force me to learn piano.
Well, but I think, okay, how do I say this? But that's how you know, because I also had some hard ass piano teachers and I just refused to practice. So, but that's how you know what you are and aren't interested in.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like if I have a kid who is interested in gymnastics, I can make them a gymnastics champion.
Yeah.
But if they're not interested in the thing, then no, I can't make them a champion.
Well, that's what we always say, because people always say follow your passion, and then the obvious response to that is like, no, you shouldn't follow your passion. You should do something realistic that you're good at. And I'm like, here's the deal. If it's truly your passion, it will be the thing you're most likely to be good at.
To get good at.
Yeah.
Because also, like, again, you can't get really good at anything without a lot of fucking practice. And you're not going to practice something that you hate.
Well, and by the way, a lot of people would say, like, well, what about the people who want to be like, you know, they say they're passionate about music or being movie stars and blah, blah. I'm like, because those people probably aren't actually passionate about it.
No, they
like,
probably want riches and recognition for little effort.
Well, really, they just want to not do math.
Right. How much of people who want to be artists are people who don't want to do math?
So right away, when you look at like the failure rate of people in the arts, you kind of have to discard the people who like, they don't even want to be in the arts. They're just trying to escape math.
That's
and
so
actually,
true.
That's truly what they're passionate about. And they do live out their passion.
They escape
don't have
math.
to do
They
math.
never do math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was able to do enough math to like take like certain marketing classes in college. And that was as far as my math ability or willingness to do math went. Because you really just kind of need like algebra or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, here's my thing with math. I'm like, I never feared it. I never had a deep aversion to it. I just recognized early on that like I wasn't passionate about it and I knew enough to get by.
Well, again, famously, my parents made me do Kumon.
Yes.
I bear that black mark upon my soul. But also, there's also a downside to the hard ass approach because Kumon, the whole idea is my parents were like, we're going to make you like a math genius by accelerating your math learning. But what you also run the risk of is if someone fails at something too early, then they train themselves that they can never be successful.
They're discouraged forever. That's why I don't draw.
What was going on with drawing?
I was really discouraged from drawing at a young age. And I think that's why I never like even bothered to learn how to practice. And that's also why I convinced myself that drawing was just for kids who couldn't read.
Bro,
and I thought that people who were
pure bullshit.
No, it's real.
Because you can draw. Drawing is individual. You can draw whenever you want.
Not
this
me.
idea of like you don't need to like be driven to a studio and have an instructor hired and
I know,
get like a
you'd
leotard.
think there's a low barrier to entry, but I
It's
was
paper
highly
and pen.
discouraged from it.
But if you really wanted to draw, you could just draw. What do you mean you weren't allowed to just like sketch?
I was told that my sketches were bad. Imagine if every time you just like doodle on a paper, your mom tells you that it's bad.
I would keep doodling.
Well,
I'm not doodling to make my mom love my doodle.
and I guess some of us are luckier than others in that way.
No. This is one where I'm like, what do you mean you were discouraged from drawing?
I just was discouraged from drawing. I was told I wasn't good at drawing. And so I didn't do it.
So here's the thing. You think that the reason you kind of fell off of dance was that you weren't in a harsh enough, rigorous enough environment. And the reason you fell off drawing was because you weren't in an encouraging, supportive enough environment. Do you see where I get a little skeptical?
No, I understand. I'm like, and I have excuses for a lot of things, totally. And I understand that explanations aren't excuses. So even though like I can explain away, I never became a great dancer because I wasn't in a competitive enough environment. I wasn't a great drawer because I wasn't encouraged at doing it. And I know that like if I was passionate about drawing or dance, I would have found a way. Yeah. Like we talk about. But no, I do think the reason like why I didn't draw and why I never even got like baseline competent at drawing. Like right now, if I were to draw, you'd think I always talk about this. If I draw you something, you will think that you're like that person has a disability.
A disability? Oh.
I just don't know if I could just like throw that out.
You just don't know if you can say disability?
Well, you'd think that I had like something missing in my genome.
Well, I'll say this. If drawing brings out this type of talk from you, I discourage it too. If when you get in a drawing mode, you start talking about like your genome and DNA sequencing, I guess maybe let's put down the sketch pad would be my view.
I was never encouraged to draw.
But you
never
a kid doesn't need like encouragement to just like draw. Also, obviously, you're never going to be a professional.
But it's like the kind of thing where it's
drawer.
like you draw something and your mom like throws it away immediately.
I don't know, man. When I'm like bored in class, I would draw like penguins and I would draw Batman's head. Famously, the two things I can draw. I just would like just doodle to myself. It's like I was never encouraged.
I would write my name over and over.
Well,
Apparently
not
that's
drawing.
something geniuses do.
Nah, it's also
I saw a TikTok about it.
It's also something that like serial killers do. That's what Jack
Well, a
Nicholson
lot
did
of
in The
serial
Shining.
killers are geniuses.
Well, I guess he didn't write his name. He wrote
Jack is a good boy.
All work and no
play makes Jack
dull.
A dull boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when I was in middle school and I had eating disorder, I would sit around and just tally up all the calories I'd eaten that day.
Yeah, but you see, that's not drawing. Again, maybe your parents would look over your shoulder and you're actually sketching out your calorie count for the day, and they'll take that piece of paper.
No, they encouraged that. It was really fucked up. Anyway, what? I'm just saying the truth.
Well, no, I'm just like sometimes
Nobody likes the truth.
Well, it is just like the path through your own mythology is a winding one.
I know.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, I was gonna say, going back to the Kumon thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Detour.
I was gonna say slight detour, not a slight detour. That was a substantial detour.
Yeah, that was a big detour.
Glad we went on it.
Back to Kumon.
Yeah. Back to Kumon. But I was gonna say it's the way, like, even I never learned how to do long division. Because that thing where you put the stuff beneath the equation, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You long division heads know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, if you know what the fuck I'm talking about with the long division numbers underneath the equation,
Hey,
sound off in the
long
comments.
division heads rise up.
But anyway, because I never learned it because I was in Kumon on too accelerated a track, and I got to the long division unit like too young, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And then, like, whatever, because it's Kumon, we just blew past that unit onto the next unit or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when long division came up in regular school, I instantly was like, oh, this is the thing I can't do. I don't know how to do this.
It becomes the scary long division monster.
So I never knew how to do it. And you know what I would do? Because I would do it in my head just without the stuff beneath the number.
Yeah.
But then what I would do is I would write random numbers beneath the equation and then erase it. So it looked to the teacher like I was doing long division.
Dude, and that's like such a long way to go about it,
Well,
actually.
it's shorter
like,
than doing
long division. Right.
And I just never knew.
Dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Kumon.
Well, it is just like every time we drive by Kumon, I'm like, should I be like getting them out of there?
Yeah, should we be doing an escape mission?
Yeah. Should I be freeing them?
Yeah. Is Kumon in the Epstein emails?
I'm going to maybe start a rumor. No, I don't think Kumon was in the Epstein emails.
Well, I've told you this, but like Life Touch was. They were the service that did the yearbook photos.
Well, again, as I say, it seems like the Epstein emails was designed as a smokescreen because they released literally all of his emails.
Right.
So it's like sometimes they're like, so-and-so was in the Epstein emails, and it's like Epstein emailing his assistant being like, did you get me tickets to so-and-so's movie?
Yeah.
Versus other times they're like, oh, this billionaire's in the Epstein emails, and it's Epstein emailing that billionaire being like, the body is buried. No one will find her.
Right,
And I'm like, there has to be like a difference.
Yeah, well, as they say, information is not accountability.
That's very true.
So, do with it what you will. Ultimately, too, it's like when someone is trying to bombard you with information, they're actually trying to tell you nothing at all.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, also, it's like when people were like, release the files, they were like, hey, release the criminal files on the criminals.
Right.
And then it's like, we're going to give you all their emails. We're going to give you all their spam emails.
Also, again, people always talk about this, but like the real Epstein shit that like is rumored to exist is the video stuff. And we've seen no videos. Not that I want.
Yeah.
Not that I
can't
want.
see the videos.
I don't want to see the videos. But they exist. Anyway,